संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ धूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर शुभ संदेश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार।
अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं
नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुराः पाणिर्मधुराः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरनौ रघुवर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन वरन विराज सुवेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिवे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिवे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस वदन तुम्हारो जस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संभारो आपै तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, सबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महा सुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा।
Jai Shri Krishna. With reverence, I bow down in the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Param Pujya Swamiji Sri Govinda Dev Giriji Maharaj. As you know, the Savan month is already started and today is Haryali Tej. So on this auspicious day, on behalf of Geeta Pariwar, I, Dr. Pooja Sharma, extend a heartfelt welcome to all of you to this sacred Vivechan session of second chapter Sankhya Yuga of Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā. One more thing, this is my honor and privilege to inform you that Param Pujya Swamiji Sri Govinda Deva Giriji Maharaj, who has been dedicating every moment of his life to the revival of Sanatan Dharma. Swamiji is conferred with prestigious Padma Bhushan Yug Tulsi Pandit Ram Kinkar Upadhyay National Award by Government of Madhya Pradesh on 23rd July in recognition of his unparalleled contribution. Congratulations, Swamiji. Now let us take first prayer so that the negativity will get removed and the positivity will come. For prayer, I would like to invite Prabhavati ji from Bangalore. She joined Geeta Pariwar in July 23 and currently giving seva as a trainer, take, calling department. Welcome, Didi.
जय श्री कृष्ण वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण
Thank you, Didi. Thank you for your melodious prayer. Now it's the time of Deepa Prajwalan. For Deepa Prajwalan, I would like to call Uma Didi from Nagpur. She joined Geeta Parivar in November 2020 and currently giving seva as a trainer, pracharak and in calling department. Welcome, Didi.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you, Didi. Thank you so much for your light, Deepa Prajwalan. One more thing. As you know that Learngeeta has completed the 5 years and we are celebrating that festival from 22nd June to 3rd August from in India as well as in abroad. So it's my humble request to all of you kindly join to this Mahotsav and arrange this pathan of Bhagavad Gita at your place, wherever you are, at your home, at temple, in garden, wherever it is possible, and be a part of it. And please share this Zoom link of our Vivechan Satra to your near and dear friends and relatives, so they will also get the opportunity to listen this Vivechan Satra. Now it is a most awaited part of our session. Arjun stood with trembling hand. Confused, he failed to understand. Krishna smiled and gently said, "The soul is birthless, never dead. Do your duty, seek no gain, raise above all joy and pain." I feel honored to introduce today's Vivechak Adarniya Shri Vikas Vaidya Bhaiya, who is a dedicated Gita Sadhak as well as trainer. He holds the degree of B in Mechanical Engineering and PGDPM and has lived as an NRI for last 12 years, traveling across the world. Currently based in Pune, he owns his own IT company and is fluent in 6 languages, that is Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian and Spanish. For the past 5 years, Bhaiya is reciting all 18 Adhyay daily. He is a trainer for all the levels in Geeta Parivar, involved in trainer selection and their training also. He is also actively involved in teaching as well as in Vivechan of Sri Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra as a dedicated member of Geeta Parivar Pune and guides Geeta Vratis for Shrungeri exams, where he himself secured first prize from Jagat Guru Shankaracharya ji. Now I request Adaraniya Shri Vikas Vaidya Bhaiya ji to enlighten with his knowledge.
जय श्री कृष्ण। परम पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नाम। वसुदेव सुदं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण ऑल। We are discussing second adhyay, Sankhya Yoga. Last time we started the discussion and we had discussed up to slok number 11, from which slok the Paramatma's great Gita message has started. अशोचारन्वशोचस्थं प्रज्ञावादां सुभाषसे कथासून कथासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः. So we'll continue with slok 12. नत्वेवाहै जातु नासन् नत्वन्ने मे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्. Janadipa is the kings who are standing in front of Arjuna for fighting the war. Janadipaha, kings. Bhavishyama, Bhavishyama, they will continue to exist. Aham is I. Jatu, at any given time. No is never. Asam is to exist. Sarve vayam. Vayam is the pronoun in Sanskrit. That means all of us. Sarve vayam, all of us. Atah param, hereafter also. So in short, Paramatma says to Arjuna that Arjuna, there was never a time when I did not exist. When you or all these kings, Janadhipaha, did not exist, and never in future shall there be any time when any of us would cease to exist. We were in the past, we are here in the present, of course, and we will continue in the future as well. The Lord says that these kings, you and I, we all existed even centuries ago. Then came a time when the bodies perished. But we still continue to exist. Without bodies, we continue to exist. The body is nothing but a form of matter. And as the matter changes, because change is the matter's inherent innate property, nature. Let us discuss about the journey of our body, how it comes into existence, how it travels through the life. The body is formed of food grains. The food that our mother and father ate, it led to formation of ova and sperm, respectively, in their bodies. The mating of sperm and ova is called conception, and then this leads to formation of embryo in the mother's womb. Everybody knows this, of course. This embryo is nurtured by the food that the mother eats. And the nature enables this embryo to go through a complex process which ultimately gives the birth to a baby, and baby is born after 9 months. This is the cycle of birth. Now, baby when starts taking the food independently, initiates the food from the breast milk of the mother, where the God has made arrangement for her to take the food, and then she starts taking the food independently. The food is responsible and essential for this growth of the baby. So in short, what has happened? Born from food, nurtured by the food, this body eventually disintegrates on the fire of that fire. After death, the fire dries up all the water in the body, and then the flesh, the skin, the fats, the bones, everything get burnt. The fully grown body thus turns into a mere handful of ash. We see it when we go for cremation of our known people to the crematorium. We see this, that entire body gets converted into a small piece of ash, small portion of ash. So all the 5 elements constituting this body, Panchamahabhuta, air, water, fire, earth, and space, they dissolve into the Panchamahabhuta again, to the corresponding Panchamahabhuta. The relatives then either disperse the ash in a river or bury that ash into the earth, and then they plant a sapling there on the top. The ash then gets thrown in the river sometimes and eventually settles on the banks of the river or reaches the fields that are irrigated with the river water. So in a way, the ash is in the soil, which is partly responsible for formation of the crops that are produced in the field, which will lead to again formation of ova and sperm. And thus the cycle continues. Some time ago, our body was not there. Before we were born, our body was not there. But we existed. Our soul was there. So we existed. And after a few years, this body will cease to exist. This will again go to ashes. We will be no more. In the body will exist. Will continue to exist. What changes is the form of the body. Interestingly, now some intelligent people, we know of course, have come up with the idea of making biogas, electricity, or even fertilizer from the human waste. And this very fertilizer would be used to produce the crops and food grains, which we will consume. And again, that work and sperm story will continue. So what a full circle ending, isn't it? This cycle continues. Shri Krishna is saying to Arjuna that all these kings, Janadhipaha, you and I, have existed since time immemorial. Bodies died and were reborn. Then they died again and were reborn again. This cycle continues. There has never been a time when these kings, you or I, did not exist. It is just that you don't know your past lives. We were discussing it some time back that the age of Earth is 4.3 billion years. If we take our average life as 100 years, you can imagine how many lives we have lived so far. If human life is 100 years, there are some species, the life is only 15 minutes. Like the moth in the rainy season comes, it dies on its own in 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. That is the lifespan of that moth. Patanga, that we call Patanga in Hindi. So how many bodies have been changed by us in last 4.3 billion years then? Hundreds of millions. When bodies have been changing so very often for last so many years, why attraction for this body then? This process is continuing. This process is continuing. There is a story of a Buddhist monk. That Buddhist monk, he wrote that an old man would come to him to see him regularly, accompanied by his grandson, beautiful looking grandson. Then one day he came to know that the grandson of that old man had died. On hearing this, the monk felt very bad and he sent a message to the old man asking him to bring along the grandson's ash. Accordingly, the old man brought the ashes. The monk asked him to put the ash in a small ditch in the garden which he had dug earlier. Old plant would thrive not only on water and the mud, but it would also absorb the nutrients present in the ash. Hence, in effect, his grandson, his remains would become an integral part of the plant. Earlier, the child had existed in the form of his son. Now, this form had changed in the form of a plant. The form had changed, but the essence remains unchanged. The unchangeable never changes, and that never changes is called Parabrahma. And the one whose very nature is to change will change inevitably. That is called Maya. That is the Prakriti. That is the nature. It keeps on changing. So something changes and something does not change. What changes is not what we are. What does not changes is what we are. That is what Paramatma is repeatedly saying to Arjuna. Let us continue with next shloka, 13th. Paramatma says further, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumarai yauvanai jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namihati. Dehinosmin yatha dehe. Dehina. Dehina means the people who are embodied. People like us who are Dehina. We have body, so we are Dehina. Asmin. Asmin means this body. Yatha, as Dehe, in the body. Kaumaram. Kaumaram is the boyhood, the childhood. Yavanam, youth. Jara, old age. Tatha, that means similarly, Yatha and Tatha. So similarly, Deha Antara, of the transfer of the body. Prapti is to achieve. Dhira. Dhira means a knowledgeable, sober person who has the knowledge. Tatra, thereupon, Muhyati is to get deluded. So Paramatma says further that Arjuna, see the Jivatma, that means the pure self, resides within this body as being separate from body, continuously passing from childhood to youth to old age. And then after death of this body, it requires a new body. So it is the fourth link in the same chain of birth, childhood, youth, old age, death, and death. It is only the wise who does not get disconcerted by this change of form. He knows this is the link in the same chain. Birth, childhood, old age, death. Birth, childhood, again same cycle. So the central idea is that the common man in old age knows that despite the changes in the body, he is the same man who was in childhood and youth. We also feel the same way, that whatever we are when 6-year-old, we are going to school, and what we are today, we feel we are same. That I in us remains the same. He has not changed. Similarly, the enlightened man remains aware that the death will not change him. The only difference is we can identify ourselves from our childhood to youth to old age, everything. But death, oh, no. I don't want to think also about that. But Dhiras Tattana Muhyati, the person who is enlightened, he remains aware that death is the same in the same link. So it's not going to change him. Like old age has not changed him, youth has not changed him, childhood has not changed him. So he's knowing very well that the death also is not going to change him. That's why it does not elude it. We are grieving because our ignorance. We identify ourselves with our gross body. I am a child, I am a youth, or I am an old man. This is your conviction. But this is just your ignorance, Paramatma says. For the Jivatma residing in your perishable body is imperishable. He is not going through these changes. It is your gross body that is going through these changes. The journey from one body to another is that of your subtle body, Sukshma Sharir. Now this brings us to an important discussion. Let us listen carefully. Gross, subtle, and causal. Sthul, Sukshma, and Karan. These are the three bodies we have. Gross, subtle, and causal. Sthul, Sukshma, and Karan Sharir. All you are aware of is our gross body, Sthul Sharir, which we can see. Hence, you obsess about keeping this gross body fit and fine, presentable, feed it, beautified by going to maybe beauty parlors. We want to keep this gross body presentable. Feed it, beautify it, keep it happy all the time. But we have forgotten totally about our Sukshma Sharir, our subtle body. The subtle body is more important than gross body, which we'll understand now. The subtle body is constituted of 19 elements, 19. 5 sense organs, 9 indriyas, 5 motor organs, that means karmendriyas, 10, 5 pranas, there are 5 types of pranas, mind, intellect, self-conscious, that means our chitta, and our ego, our aham. So these are the 19 elements which constitute our Sukshma Sharir. They are the part of our Sukshma Sharir. Now 5 sense organs, that means smell, sight, taste, hearing, and touch. They are the sense organs. 5 karmendriyas are our hands, legs, tongue, that means speech, and organs of urination and disposal of body waste. So these 5 are our karmendriyas. These 10 organs are essential. They are essentially the function. They function from our subtle Sukshma Sharir and manifesting as motor activity as karmendriyas in the gross body. All indriyas work. Only karmendriyas work or only jnanendriyas work not. All 10 indriyas work. And they work through this subtle body and manifest this action in our gross body. Now both subtle body and gross body are the handiwork of Prakriti, the nature. When subtle body permeates the external framework of gross body, this results in the functioning of sense and motor organs, that is jnanendriyas and karmendriyas. Hence the functions of our or the actions of our gross body, like seeing, like hearing, like taste, or like touching, they become possible. And at the moment of death, when this subtle body Sukshma Sharir leaves the gross body, all actions cease, they stop. Then the gross body cannot get up, cannot walk, cannot talk, cannot eat, cannot smell. It continues to have all the 10 indriyas. The dead body is having all indriyas, no? Hands, legs, nose, eyes, ears, everything is there, but nothing works. Everything stops working. Why? Sukshma Sharir has left that gross body. That's why the gross body cannot do anything on its own. It is dead forever. So now, do you love your gross body or your subtle body? Do we live our Sukshma Sharir or our Sthul Sharir? Which is more important? Of course, the Sukshma Sharir. After all, who loves the dead body? As long as the subtle body exists, you are loved by your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters, your spouse. No sooner the subtle body leaves the gross body at the time of death, no one wants to keep the rotting gross body in the house. All arrangements are made to cremate it as soon as possible. So in reality, you love your subtle body, but you don't know that you love your subtle body because you don't know what is subtle body. And as a result of this ignorance, you are attached to your gross body and remain completely unaware of your subtle body. Now, having acquired this profound knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, now can we change our focus from gross body and start falling in love with our Sukshma Sharir, our subtle body? Shri Krishna says in this shloka, from childhood to youth to old age to death, the gross body changes its form. Then at the time of death, the old body is shed and the subtle body gets new gross body, a new form. But during this entire cycle of movement from one form to another, from one body to another, the Jivatma remains the same. That is why you feel drawn towards a complete stranger sometime. You like that unknown person for no rhyme or reason. Do you know why? Because the two of you have been close in some previous lifetime. But with the death of previous gross bodies, the subtle bodies moved on with their individual journey. And when they happen to meet again, the subtle body gets drawn to another person's subtle body. Yet the gross bodies are unfamiliar with each other because the gross bodies have changed, subtle bodies have not. Hence, inexplicable urge sometimes to get to know the stranger. We sometimes don't know why we like that person. So, we are not new on this planet, Paramatma says. We are all ancient. And it is entirely possible that the kind of spiritual discussions that we are having now in this session, we might have had similar discussions in our previous lives with some different characters. For the subtle body, depending upon its desires and of course karma, acquires appropriate gross body in appropriate time and appropriate place. When a man who was born in India underwent past life regression and he found himself in the body of an Englishman. Likewise, there are many Europeans and many Americans who say that they must have been born in India in their previous lifetimes, as they have some very strange and inexplicable attraction for India and India's culture. I tell you from my personal experience. I myself have a very close friend. His name is Patrick Delano. The spelling is Delaunux, but they pronounce X, they don't pronounce. They say Patrick Delano. This Patrick is a Frenchman. He is living in Paris. We did business together for many years. He used to visit India every month. He was and he still is mad love with India. I had asked him 15 years back this question, Patrick, tell me what exactly you like about India. Why do you love India so much? What do you like here in India? You like the dusty roads here? You like the unmanageable traffic here? You may like the unmanageable crowd here? Or you like the cows and dogs moving on the road freely? What do you exactly like about India? We are very close friends, so we can talk to each other anything. So he said, all that does not matter because it does not matter. I love the people of India. Talking to them, I feel as if I am in my own people, as if I know them for ages. Now, this Patrick's forefathers had some connection with our French colony Pondicherry. So this could be the reason that his Sukshma Sharir could have been occupying some Indian body few lifetime back. Shri Krishna is saying to Arjuna, the wise ones remains unruffled by the death of this gross body. He does not mourn, does not grieve, for he knows that this journey will continue in another body. And who is this wise person that Shri Krishna is referring to? Who knows all this? The one who has higher wisdom. A refined pure intellect that understands all. So this is the journey of our body. Let us continue with slok number 14. Slok number 14. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agamapayino nityas tansthitikkshasva bharata. Paramatma says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya. Matra sparsha, the contact of senses with the sense objects. We have 5 Jnanendriyas and sense objects, 5 sense objects. Shita is cold, Ushna is hot, of course. Sukha is happiness, Dukkha is unhappiness or pain. Da is to give. Agama is to appear, to come. Apayina, to disappear, to go. Anitya, unpermanent. Titiksha is just try to tolerate. Just try to tolerate. So Paramatma says, the relationship of contact between the senses and their object is the cause of feeling hot or cold, Shita Ushna, pain or pleasure. O son of Kunti, Kaunteya, they are transitory. Agama Paino, they come and go. They are not permanent. Therefore, hear them calmly. Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, Shitoshna Sukadupadaha, Agama Paino Nistas, Tanstitikshasva Bharata. There is no way. Just tolerate and go further. To avoid pain and to get happiness, human beings in this world depend on their mind and senses. From where do we feel the happiness and sadness? From our mind, of course. The 5 senses, in turn, they depend on their 5 sense objects. The mind depends on the senses for the feedback of those senses. Eyes see something, ear hear something, nose smells something, tongue eats or speaks something, and sends the feedback to the mind. Is it happiness or dukkha or sukha, pleasure or pain? But the common fate of all of them is impermanent and transitory. Scriptures therefore recommend that a true devotee, a true seeker, who is after the truth, should not abandon his endeavors when he is afflicted by pain, grief, or even pleasure. Because pleasure can also not detected by anything. Sukha, dukkha, pain, pleasure, nothing. You should also observe titiksha. Titiksha means inner discipline, the spiritual training of mind and senses, and continue with his commitment. Scriptures recommend observance of titiksha for everybody, not for only yogis, but for everybody, because it contributes to build the discipline and character with us. When we learn the technique of titiksha, to tolerate things. See, our eyes cannot perceive this immortal, that which is birthless and deathless. Can the eye see what is birthless and deathless? Cannot. All that is tangible, perceptible to our eye is mortal. That which has taken birth is formed of 5 sense objects, that is sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. And these 5 sense objects are formed from 5 elements, Panchamabhuta: air, water, fire, earth, and space. Take an example. All the colors that you see, they comprise of the elements of Agni, fire. The deity presiding over the sense of seeing is the sun. As without the light, the eyes cannot see anything, any form whatsoever, isn't it? Thus the eyes, the light, the form, and the color are all formed from Agni. So in all this game, sense organs, Panchama Bhuta and all that, where do we figure? Where do you figure? Where do I figure? What is the value of I that comes in at all times? What is the value of this I? Senses are interacting with sense objects. Sense objects, everything depends on Panchama Bhuta. They act in accordance with their nature. Where does this I come? Nevertheless, Parabrahma has no problem with your I. You keep on thinking I. Parabrahma has no problem with that. Take for example, one small story. An elephant was crossing a weak bridge and it started to sway away under the weight of that elephant. The bridge started dangling under the weight of that elephant. Meanwhile, a tiny fly came and sat on the back of the top of that elephant. When the duo, that means that elephant and that fly, they crossed the bridge, the fly said to elephant, see how two of us managed to shake up the bridge. The elephant laughed and replied, I was not even aware of your existence till you spoke. Such tinsy-wincy fly, but it was so deluded into thinking that its weight had contributed to shaking of the bridge. Our sense of doership is like that fly. In the story, the elephant spoke out, but the Parabrahma does not speak even that. It says, okay, if you think you are the doer, keep believing that. I have no problem. You keep on harping about what you did, what you ate, what you saw, what you heard. Is what you talk about when you meet someone. All your conversation is related to your sense organs, in fact. We enjoyed so much, you say. But who enjoyed? Good food is enjoyed by the tongue. Good music is enjoyed by the ears. Good sights are enjoyed by the eyes. And so on and so forth. So in effect, these sense organs are enjoying the sense objects. But you say, I had such a wonderful time. We enjoyed thoroughly. Now, where did this I come? How did this I come in the business of sense organs and sense objects? So whenever you enjoy the sensory world through sense organs, use your discriminatory wisdom and ask yourself this question. Who is enjoying? Be aware of eyes that are seeing and the mind is enjoying. Through the medium of eyes, apply this question asking habit in your day-to-day life. If we adopt this habit, then you will start slowly moving away from I am body, I am mind, I am senses syndrome, which is catching us. So even when the tired body lies down on the bed to take the rest, be aware who is tired. Ask yourself, who is tired? Who wants to sleep? Who will get the rest? You will become a witness of your own body, which gets tired and which gets rested. You are a third person observing it from a distance. You simply become a witness. Lord is saying all sensory perceptions are fleeting, changing without any exception, present in one moment and disappearing in the next. Agama Paido Nityas. Likewise, your body also is temporal, present now, but will disappear in due course of time. So where is the question of mourning then? Sri Krishna says, your body is mortal, perishable, and impermanence is the very nature of your body. Hence, why mourn the inevitable death of your body? Bodies of your dear ones and dear ones. Remember this shloka, remember these words of Lord Krishna. Whenever you face death of the body, whether your own or that of your loved ones. This is the way we have to acquire wisdom from Bhagavad-Gītā and still march ahead. Let's go further to slok number 15. Paramatma says further, slok 15. Yam hina vyathayante purusham purusharshava samadukha sukhandhiram somrtatvaya kalpate. Sama. That means, so how is the Sanskrit Sam is who? Yam is also one who. Vyathayanti. Vyathayanti is to distress. Purusham, person. Purusharshava is the best among person, that is Arjuna. Sama, that means same, dukkha, distress, sukha, happiness, we all know that. Dhiram, Dhiram is a person with having a lot of patience. Amrutatvaya, this is important word. Amrutatvaya, nectar, liberation. Kalpate is considered eligible. So Paramatma says, the greatest among the men regards happiness and sorrow alike, samadukha and sukha, and does not have restlessness for sensory gratification. He is neither excited nor disturbed by happiness or by sorrow. And only such a person who is steady in all situations is eligible for attainment of liberation. As we know from Gita, knowledge is of two types, para and apara. Apara refers to the worldly knowledge, earning money, running our household, behaving in the society, social norms, etc. While para is the knowledge which takes us beyond this world. It is the knowledge of Parabrahma. The Gita is the knowledge of Parabrahma. But you will find it useful for your worldly life as well. Both this phenomenal world and the other world, Paraloka, after death of the body, Gita can guide you in both. So Gita is para and apara, both knowledge. The wise one is neither perturbed by hell nor excited by heaven, because he knows that pleasure and pain are both transitory, temporary. Hence, do not become complacent by happiness or distressed by the sorrow. Know that all this is mandatory, all that will come will go away. But who knows all this? Among men or women, because this is about gender. Gender has nothing to do with the soul. They alone will have the intellect to absorb, understand this concept. They alone will know that everything is impermanent, be it happiness or sorrow, or indeed this mortal body. Such a steady, composed person is never frustrated by the pursuit of sensual gratification. He or she will never hanker for the sense pleasures. He knows whatever coming out of meeting of sense with sense objects is temporary. Tolerate it and go further. Don't get trapped into it. In addition, this shloka carries a message for all spiritual aspirants like us. Give up the habit of complaining, grumbling. This is not right. That is lacking. Why did he do this to me? Why she did not do that? Stop this complaining. Don't be complainer constantly moaning and groaning about everything and everybody. Then be it your father, mother, brother, sister, spouse, friend, relatives, business partner, anybody. See, we are unable to respond appropriately even to minor problems in our life. And we find charm in complaining and complaining. Ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya. So how can we bring balance to our lives? With a small interesting story that is called Sundar Pichai cockroach story. Sundar Pichai, the boss of Google, he has written an article. He says, at a restaurant, when he was enjoying his coffee, a cockroach suddenly flew from somewhere and sat on a lady. Now, this was a very ordinary situation. But see how we respond. She started screaming out of fear. With a panic-stricken face and trembling voice, she started jumping up and down with both her hands, desperately trying to get rid of that cockroach sitting on her body somewhere. Her reaction was contagious, as everyone in her group also got panicky. The lady finally managed to push the cockroach away, but it landed on another lady in the group. So it was the turn of other lady in the group to continue the drama of dancing. The waiter was watching this. He rushed forward to rescue. In the relay of throwing, the cockroach next fell upon the waiter. The waiter stood firm, composed himself, and observed the behavior of cockroach on his shirt. When he was confident enough, he grabbed it with his finger and threw it away from a window of the restaurant. Sundar Pichai says, sipping my coffee and watching with amusement, the antenna of my mind picked up a few thoughts and started wondering, was the cockroach responsible for this histrionic behavior of people here? If cockroach was responsible, then why the waiter was not disturbed? He handled the situation near to perfection without any chaos. So it is not the cockroach, but the inability of those people to handle the disturbance caused by cockroach that disturbed the ladies. He says, I realized it is not the shouting of my father or my boss or my wife that disturbs me, but it is my inability to handle the disturbances caused by their shouting that disturbs me. My inability. It is not the traffic jams on the road that disturbs me. It is my inability to handle the disturbance caused by traffic jam that disturbs me. More than the problem, it is my reaction to the problem that creates the chaos in the life. I understood. I should not react in life. I should always respond. There is a huge difference between reaction and respond. The women there, they reacted, whereas the waiter, he responded. Reactions are always impulsive. Responses are always well thought of. A beautiful way to understand life. We make our beautiful life complicated by reacting inappropriately in most of the situations. So a person who is happy is not so because everything is right in his life. He is happy because his attitude towards everything in life is right. That is why he is happy. Geeta teaches us the purpose of meditation. The purpose of meditation is to regulate the mind to such stillness that even during the most awful situations in our life, we are able to pause, analyze the situation, and take the action accordingly, respond appropriately, not like those ladies. In this shloka, Shri Krishna lists the eligibility criteria for attaining liberation, for attaining moksha, saying that only one who does not get perturbed under any circumstances is eligible for liberation. In fact, the word that Lord has used here is amrita. Amrit means liberation, nectar. Nectar. Paramatma is amrut, that means nectar. Now, what is the essence of nectar? Amrut. The essence of nectar, amrut, in our life is I am eternal, I am immortal, I am nectarous, self, the Atma. Knowing this, moksha. This, attaining the nectar of self-realization is moksha. So for moksha, one does not have to die. He has to realize this nectar in his life, and then he can moksha even when he is alive. So this is a great teaching this shloka has given us. Let us proceed further. Shlok number 16. Paramatma says further in shlok 16, Na sado vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah, uvayorapi drushtauntas vanayos tattvadarshibhi. We'll go to the meaning directly now. At no time there will be the absence of truth. Truth is eternal. On the other hand, although the untruth appears to exist, it is an illusion. The untruth has no existence, where the truth will always prevail. These are two unchangeable fundamental facts that way the essence of both truth and untruth is realized by the enlightened ones, Tattvadarshini. No matter how hard you try, the truth will never be converted into untruth and vice versa. Truth will remain truth, untruth will remain untruth. But first you need to understand what is truth and what is untruth. Isn't it? Truth is eternal. It existed in the past, it is existing now, and it will continue to exist in the future. Untruth, on the other hand, was transient, changeable in the past, it is temporary now, and it is changeable now and will continue to be so in future as well. The central idea is that this body and this phenomenal world, material world, being made of constituents of atoms, is in permanent state of change. and is subject to decay and death. It is therefore unreal. The only absolute reality is the spirit, the soul, which never changes. The existence of unreal is comparable with that of a cinema that we see, The cinema picture scenes look complete and continuous due to the fast rapidity of motion picture. If you see that reel, there are so many pictures in that, but when that reel is rolled very speedily, you see everything is happening in continuation. Otherwise, it is pieces or fragment. It appears complete and continuous only because of the rapidity at which it moves. Similarly, this phenomenal world too looks solid because our senses cannot catch, cannot discern the fast changes that always occur in the nature. Vedanta says, Jagat Mithya, Prabhu Satya. World is unreal, God is real. This world is unreal because it is subject to change and modification. It is not lasting. God is eternal and above the change. Senses, mind, and all their objects, including this body, are unreal. Only soul is the reality. God says that the true seekers and knowers of the truth know this very well. What is Nasuto Vidyate Bhavo, Na Bhavo Vidyate Sataha. They know this very well. For Slok number 17, Paramatma says further in Slok 17, Avinashadu tadvidhi yena sarvamidhan tatam vinashamavyasyasya nakashit kartumarhati. Paramatma says that which is all pervasive, that means which pervades all, believe only that to be eternal and everlasting. What pervades all? The Tattva Paramatma, isn't it? It pervades all. No power can destroy, never change eternity. The mind and senses cannot see it because they have not learned the way to see it. The only reality is the soul. It is in all places, all situations, in all times and forms, and all beings. It pervades everything. How can this therefore be destroyed ever? It is existing forever. It cannot be destroyed. All that is visible and can be experienced is due to the power of soul. Now one could ask this question. If the soul is there in all objects, including the human beings, then when the human beings die, the soul should also die. The answer is that soul does not die. The dying object or the dead object, it existed due to the soul, vice versa. The body existed due to soul, soul did not exist due to body. Soul's existence does not depend on body. Soul is not object. The object is due to soul. The body is due to soul. The nature of soul is immortality. It cannot die. The nature of object is to change. The nature of object is to die. When the object leave, they leave due to soul. The objects have destructible constitution, but not the soul, because it is eternity and immortality. Now the question that may come to our mind is, do we know at what moment we will die? Interesting story. There is an account of guest house in Varanasi, where people check in to die. The name of that place is Kashi Labha Mukti Bhavan. It is there in Varanasi. Kashi Labha Mukti Bhavan. Rooted in the belief system of Hindus that we have, that if one takes one last breath of his life in Kashi, one attains what is popularly known as Kashi Labh. That means the fruit of Kashi, it is moksha or salvation. The interesting fact about this guest house is that one is allowed only 2 weeks to stay in that Kashi Mukti Bhavan. To die, he is allowed to stay there only for 2 weeks. So one has to really be certain that he is going to die in 2 weeks. If a person still hangs out around there after 2 weeks, he is asked to check out. Jaiya, baar jaiye. 2 hafta ho gaya, you are not died. Go. So this person who has written this article, he says, out of curiosity, I decided to go to Varanasi to understand what these people had learned, who had not only accepted death as a reality, but were rather anticipating it with a timer on. They check in and the timer is on. When I will die, when I will die, when I will die. So he says, I spent 2 weeks in that guest house and interviewed people who had checked in. Their life lessons were really thought-provoking. In the same environment, he says, I met one Mr. Bhairav Nath Shukla, who had been the manager of that Mukti Bhavan for last 44 years. He had seen more than 12,000 deaths in all these years of his working there. I asked him, Mr. Shukla, what is it that you have learned after seeing both life and death so closely? People come here and they are slowly waiting for the death. What have you observed in them? Mr. Shukla, he shared with me 12 life lessons in this regard, what he has seen. But there is one lesson in this series which is his favorite and which resonated deeply with me. The lesson is the lesson of life. Resolve all conflict before you go. Resolve all conflict before you go. He told me a story to back this. He says there was a Sanskrit scholar of the times by the name Ram Sagar Mishra. Now this Mishraji was one of the eldest of 6 brothers and was closest to his youngest brother. One argument a few years back led to bitter communication between this Mishraji and his youngest brother. This led to a wall, eventually partitioning the house. Both went on non-talking terms. In his final years, this Mishraji, he checked into that guest house. He told Shuklaji to reserve room number 3 for him because he was sure that he was going to die on the 15th day of his arrival. On 13th day, Mishraji showed an urge to see his estranged brother of 40 years. He said, this bitterness heavies my heart. I want to resolve every conflict before I go. So his youngest brother was called. Soon the youngest brother arrived. Mishraji held his hand and asked him to bring down the wall dividing the house. He asked for his brother's forgiveness. Though he was eldest, he asked for his forgiveness. Galti ho gaya, maaf karo mujhe. Both the brothers, they wept their heart out. And in the mid-sentence, suddenly, that senior Mishraji, he stopped speaking. His face became calm and he was gone at that moment. Mr. Shukla, the manager of that place, he told me that he had seen the same story replay over and over again with many people who came there. So this was not a unique story. These are repeated many times. He said, I see so many people carrying such unnecessary baggage throughout their lives, only wanting to drop it at the very end of their journey. The trick, according to that gentleman, he said, the trick, however, does not lie in having no conflicts at all. People have conflicts. There cannot be life without conflicts. Rather, the trick lies in resolving every conflict as soon as one has it. One cannot and one should not go to bed having an argument, a disappointment, a resentment, or a doubt. One should always try to resolve them at the earliest. Because you see, the good news is we are alive. But the bad news, nobody knows for how long. So resolve your conflict today, whatever it may be. For tomorrow is promised to no one in this world. Think, is there anything or anyone you would like to make peace with while you still got time? When we have bitter experiences with someone, it is only when we forgive that the emotional burden will be removed. So this great mantra is learned from that person. Let us continue with slok number 18 now. Paramatma says further, slok number 18. Antavanta ime deha nityasya yukta sharirinaha anashino prameyasya Tasmat Yadyasva Bharato. Krishna Bhagavan says, the body is immortal. But who dwells in the body is said to be, body is mortal rather, but the one who dwells in this body is said to be immortal, immeasurable, aprameya. Therefore, Bharata, that means Arjuna, fight in this battle. Now, this body of ours will come to an end. But we, the Atma, is eternal. The body is changing from moment to moment, and even in the few minutes when we are discussing this particular dialogue between us, our body has moved closer to the great change called death. The mind is subject to even more rapid changes. We have to only look at our desires and our moods to see how much our mind is subject to change every moment. Now, whenever we cling to something which is continually changing, we are becoming, or will rather become, more and more insecure with the passage of time. When we identify ourselves excessively with body, that I am body, every morning begins with a pose. The morning will pose a threat to us as we get older. Move to the latter half of our life. Every morning we look in the mirror to see if there are new wrinkles on the face. There are black circles, bags under the eyes, or gray hair in our hair. But the paradox of life is, when we cling to our body, it loses its beauty. But when we do not cling to it and use the body as an instrument to serve others, even at physical level, it glows with health and beauty. As we see from the life of so many yogis, mystics, including our own very own Pujya Swamiji. Swamiji is now 76 years of age. Can a normal human being who is clinging excessively to his body be so active physically at the age of 76, which Swamiji is, and still be so radiant? This body is the temple of Lord and must serve with care. The temple has to be broomed. रोज झाड़ू लगाना चाहिए उसमें. कैसे झाड़ू लगाएंगे? Every day with mantra chanting and reading of Bhagavad-Gītā, and purified through daily practice of meditation and restraint of senses. We show respect for the Lord within us by keeping the body healthy, clean, and beautiful. Any attempt to misuse the body or to indulge in excessive senses at the expense of body is a violation of divine presence in us. Showing gross disrespect. So where books, movies, television, or our eating habits are concerned, we must be vigilant to see we are not indulging in senses at the cost of health of our body or our mind. Even those who are making good progress on the spiritual path, the senses can play havoc if the vigilance is relaxed. In order to transform our belief that I am body to the feeling that I am Atma, we should begin by governing the senses very carefully for many years. This is not from the role of yogi. We don't become a yogi, but we give our body what is needed to sustain it as a spiritual instrument for doing Paramatma sadhana. Just as we purify our gross body, that means the full sharir, with vigilant care of senses, healthy physical exercises, the repetition of mantra, we purify our subtle body, our sukshma sharir. We discuss what is sukshma sharir. By cultivating healthy thoughts. Sukshma sharir can be cultivated by good thoughts. We have seen in previous discussion how important our sukshma sharir is. Thoughts are the food of subtle body, of samskars, our mental and emotional conditioning. What we are eating in the form of these thoughts for subtle body, so throughout times, and every time a thought arises in mind, because mind is always with some thought, good or bad. So anytime a thought arises in the mind, we have added either to the nutrition of our sukshma sharir, that is subtle body, or its malnutrition. The healthy effect on the mind of anger, resentment, or hostility is so great that it can cause far-reaching damage even on the physical level. To keep the subtle body pure and healthy, we must and foremost cultivate one virtue. What is that virtue? Forgiveness. Forgiveness. With this one virtue acquired, the Sukshma Sharir can be purified. The point Shri Krishna is explaining to Arjuna is that man is soul and not the body. Soul is Nitya, that means always the same. It does not act, so it does not act, obviously, you are not acting. And therefore not committing a sin. But the sin will not accrue only when Arjuna is able to experience the soul. Only then his delusion will end. Attachment and grief are only as long as we are at the level of body consciousness. We feel ourselves to be the doer. The central idea is that Arjuna should fight with equanimity of mind. That means not for motive, but for duty. Fight not for vindictiveness, but for the call of duty to uphold the dharma. And that will break the fetters of bondage. Let us proceed to next shloka, shloka number 19. Paramatma says in this shloka 19, Eno vitti hantarai yashchena manyate hatam bhavatav na janito nayam hantina hanyate. Those who think that they can slay Atma and those who think that the Atma is the slayer, both are ignorant. Both are ignorant to the reality that Atma neither kills nor can it be killed. Here the central idea is that unless a person becomes soul realized, he or she will remain at the mercy of universal delusion of believing oneself to be the killer or the killed, the sinner or the sinned against the real man or woman, because the soul is above gender, so it is man or woman, doesn't matter. He is neither the killer nor the killed, because his life is like 100 years long dream. In a dream, we kill and also get killed. And on waking up, we feel so delighted that it was all dream and not a reality. We are still like, similar is the experience of enlightened person. He looks at life from this point of view. This shloka is truly of Arjuna's impression that by killing Pitama Bhishma, by killing Dronacharya, he will incur sin. Lord says that soul is neither a killer nor subject to be killed. So the power which cannot be killed, which does not kill, how the sin will visit that power? The ignorant who believes only in body consciousness, he believes himself with the killer, which is pure delusion. But this delusion is most difficult to shed. No book reading can help. Spiritual sadhana is the only way out. Now, what determines how long it will take us to reach that actual goal of life, of self-realization? How much time will it take? Small story again. Once a saint was sitting on the side of a road when a passerby came to him. He showed him a piece of paper and asked him, Sir, could you please tell me how far away this place is? Trying to manage his two huge suitcases which he had in his two hands, further asked, how long will it take for me to reach there? The saint did not say anything. He got up and gestured the man to continue on his way. And he started walking along with him. The man was surprised. I asked him some matters and he is walking. Also a little frightened at the saint's strange behavior, that he is not talking anything, just walking, and asked him to follow him. He said to the saint, please do not trouble yourself. All I want to know is the distance. I can go there on my own. Don't take trouble. Still the saint said nothing. He said nothing, but continued to walk with that man. After 10 minutes, he stopped and he said, it will take you 2 hours to reach that place. This man said, Sir, you could have told this to me at the beginning only. There was no need for you to talk a mile with me to tell this. The saint, he replied, How could I estimate the time without knowing your speed of walking? The time to cover any distance is not decided by its length, but by the speed of the walker. You are carrying these two huge bags with you, so it becomes obvious that your speed will be slow. Now, after I have walked with you, I can tell you that it will take 2 hours for you to reach this particular place where you want to go. Now, saying this, that saint carried on his journey further. But this traveler thanked the saint, and he kept on looking at him for some time, as if he had shown him the right way of reaching his life's goal. Everything depends on our speed, and our speed depends on our condition. We can run and we will arrive soon. We can waddle along, but in that case, our time of travel will be longer. Our speed can also be such that we can reach the distance immediately. Our destination we can reach immediately. This applies to our inner journey. That means our journey of self-realization, the real goal of our life. We are the passerby having two huge suitcases. One is full of our past karma, past experiences, and another one is full of future expectations. Once we are freed from these burdens of past and future and start living in the present, our journey of life accelerates with enthusiasm and joy. And as we put our best efforts with utmost yearning and craving, then we can reach the goal immediately, very soon. So, if one man runs to reach the destination and other walks to the same destination, he also reaches the destination. What is the difference? One saves his time and the other spends his time. So when you will attain your self-realization, depends on what baggage you are carrying and what is your speed. So let us proceed with slok number 20. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya acho nitya shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Paramatma says, we were never born. We will never die. We have never undergone any change. We will never undergo any change. So we are unborn, eternal, immutable, immemorial, ancient. We do not die when our bodies die. Shri Krishna continues to explain our real nature in this shloka. Na jayate, we were never born. Na mriyate, therefore we will never die. Na ayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha, we will never undergo any change. Aja, never born. Nitya, eternal. Shashvat, immutable. And finally, with a tinge of little humor, Paramatma says, Purana, old, the ancient one. We are ancient. We are so much ancient that compared to us, Himalaya is a newborn baby. That much ancient we are. When the world was not, when the galaxies were not, when nothing was there, we are having grey beard. We are that old. His grey beard is since that time. So the play of Lord in which he assumes a body. Paramatma also, when he takes the manifested form, he acquires body, isn't it? And seems for the childhood, the youth, the old age. And this is beautifully portrayed in Kerala, in Guruvayur temple, dedicated to Lord Krishna. Shri Krishna is worshipped in 3 different forms in that temple, in the 3 periods of the day. In the morning, if you go to the temple, you will see little baby Krishna, Bala Krishna, in a cradle, being fed, bathed, and sung to sleep. Most children are to go for morning service in that temple. They see that Lord is even younger than them, and they have such compassion for him and feel so protective that they don't want any harm to come to Balakrishna, that little one. This protective feeling for the God is a real very good discipline for the spiritual awareness right from their childhood. At noon, Shri Krishna is young man, straight like a palm tree, outgoing and very vigorous. You see Lord Krishna as the embodiment of physical fitness at its best in the afternoon. You see the peacock feather on his head, you see the garland of wild flowers, the yellow silk dhoti, and the bamboo flute in his hand. Young people like to visit in the temple in the noon. When they identify themselves, they find it easy to identify that form of Krishna which is so young, fit. So they love to see their beloved Krishna in that form. And in the evening, when the sun is about to set, the old people like to go and see the Lord Krishna, who is hardly able to stand up and is ready to shed his body any moment. The different images serve to remind you and us that these are all the changes which affect only the body. Even the God undergoes these changes when he takes the human manifestation. Shri Krishna at the age of 8 years in Vrindavan and Shri Krishna at the age of 125 years in Kurukshetra, were they physically same? No. That means even the God's body changes. But does the God change? No, God never changes. So God's body changed. God did not change. Same is true with you and me. Our body changed. Our soul never changes. God is therefore asking us to rise above the physical level so that we do not get caught in this cycle of change. I have become old. I have become sick. These changes, you don't get trapped into. Paramatma says, you are not that body. You are much different than that body. Okay, let's quickly go to slok number 21. Today's last, then we'll end the session. 21st sloka. Vida vinashina nityaya enamajavyam katham sapurushah partha kanghatayati hantikam. Paramatma says, Partha, Arjuna, a person who knows this soul as indestructible, eternal, birthless, and beyond change, how can he kill or cause another one to kill? Atma cannot be divided. Atma is one. It cannot be divided, which means Atma is one. Jiva is many, manifold, multiple, billions and trillions in number. Jivas is in billions, trillions in numbers. But does it mean that there are billions and trillions of Atmas residing in these billions and trillions of Jivas? No. Atma is singular, indivisible. That is its nature. One who knows for certain that the universality and immortality of the soul and unreality of this body, how can he kill anybody? Because there is nobody to kill. You are also soul, he is also soul. Everybody being soul, who cannot be killed. So who will kill whom? This is akin to asking someone to kill the illusionary snake in the rope. And remember, you can either see the snake or you can see the rope at any given time. You cannot see both of them simultaneously. Either you see the illusion or you see the reality. Both cannot be seen together. So the one who knows that the Atma is indestructible knows that he cannot kill or destroy that which is the truth. So who can kill whom then? But this realization is not there when the man is at the level of mind and body consciousness, sense consciousness. For this realization, soul consciousness is necessary. It is for this reason that Lord Krishna wants to enlighten Arjuna, who had requested for Lord for the right guidance. Now, how are we all connected? Atma is same in all of us. So how are we all connected? 9/11. As soon as we mention 9/11, the painful memories of the terrorist attack in USA on the World Trade Center comes to our mind. But 9/11 also holds a very positive significance in our history, particularly India's history. Something special happened that day. On 11th September 1893, Swami Vivekananda gave a lecture on religion, which made not only America, but the whole Western world his admirer. It was indeed a very proud day for all of us. Swami Vivekananda re-established India as the global guru on 11th September 1893. The place was Chicago, America's most densely populated city on the coast of Lake Michigan, where a huge conference, that is World's Parliament of Religions, was being held. Representatives of different religions from all over the world and a young yogi from India, Swami Vivekananda, were present. A lot of people were mocking Swami Vivekananda, who was sitting amid hundreds of scholars because he was dressed differently than others. We know Swami Vivekananda's dress. So many of the scholars also laughed at Swamiji. Even after hearing all the comments, Swamiji remained calm and serene and continued to listen to the scholars from other religion and other countries with full attention. The people were all different, so were their religion, but everyone claimed the same thing. There is no religion like my religion, no doctrine like my doctrine, no lineage like mine. We know a religion in the world says those who don't follow us, they are all kafir, they should be killed. Such religions also exist. Swami Vivekananda's name was eventually called in that world's parliament of religions. He rose from his seat and began walking towards the stage. Swami Vivekananda was hardly 30 years that time. The whole world wanted to hear what this young representative of India would say here in this parliament of religions, where so many great warriors of various religions have already spoken. How would this simple boy of 30 years prove the superiority of Sanatan Dharma, the eternal religion? What is going to speak? Swami Vivekananda, he reached the mic, but did not say anything. This sparked curiosity among the people present there. There was a stir all around that why was Swamiji not saying anything? Some people even ridiculed him. Swamiji remained still, calm, quiet. He was simply looking around at everyone, as if taking a stock of the entire gathering. Eventually, after a few more moments, Swamiji began to talk. But he had entered merely 5 words when around 7,000 scholars from all over the world present in the audience immediately rose up and began to clap for him. Those 5 words reverberated there and continue to sound till this day, sending a message of universal brotherhood to the entire world, the message of Bhagavad Gita. The first 5 words spoken by Swami Vivekananda in that conference were sisters and brothers of America. Sisters and brothers of America. The 7,000 people present there were mesmerized, as if they had seen some magic, as if they had heard the voice of God, as if there had been some heavenly prophecy. The applause continued straight for about 2.5 minutes on these 5 words only. While he had barely said anything yet, his initial 5 words touched everyone's heart and surprised them. This is India. This is Geeta. This is Swami Vivekananda. The entire atmosphere of conference had changed because this word did not come out of a person's mouth. They were born out of the culture of Sanatan Dharma. For the magnanimous and big-hearted, in fact, this entire earth is their family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. In Marathi we say, He Vishwaji Maje Gharo. This concept was introduced to that gathering by Swami Vivekananda on that day of 11th September 1893. The people sitting in the meeting would not believe that a person who came from thousands of miles away, with whom they shared neither blood, nor culture, nor language, nor emotion, nor religion, nothing, how could you address us as brothers and sisters? This is the secret which the biggest intellectuals of the world have not been able to understand till date. Everybody says we are best. Vivekananda says we are all brothers and sisters. We are all one. How to make even the strangers our own. How we do not discriminate among human. How we do not consider anyone big or small. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam was, is, and will always remain our culture, India's Sanatan culture. Is for us, every person in this world, what Swami Vivekananda said on that day, is our sisters and brothers. After these 5 words, Swamiji further said, I am grateful to you all for the love and affection with which you all have welcomed us. This statement also brings forth his grand qualities. Swamiji had come to America about 1.5 months before this conference, the day he spoke at World's Parliament of that religions. But he had only got hatred and contempt from everyone in America. For a month and a half, he drank this poison of hatred and humiliation, but did not allow even the slightest bitterness or anger to enter him. He did not avenge the wrongs done to him by others. Rather, he took them as a heavenly gift. And when he spoke there, the word that came out to his lips, the words that came out to his lips were of gratitude, and gratitude only. The hatred and humiliation all around could not touch his soul. That is the purity of heart of Swami Vivekananda. Swamiji further said, I am proud that I am a follower of that great religion which has taught the world the spirit of tolerance and acceptance. The following morning, newspapers in America were loaded with accolades of Swami Vivekananda. New York Herald wrote, Swami Vivekananda was the greatest speaker in the world's Parliament of Religions. After listening to him, it seemed foolish to send missionaries to that great country, India, where such countless learned and wise individuals reside. Such is the greatness of our culture, all embracing and all inclusive. Culture is not reflected by garments, rather it lies in the development of character. That is Sanatana Dharma. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose used to say, if Swami Vivekananda had been alive, I would have sat at his feet. Guru Rabindranath Tagore used to say, read Swami Vivekananda if you want to know India. After reading Swami Vivekananda, Mahatma Gandhi said, my attachment for my country, India, has increased 1,000 times after knowing Vivekananda. So this is Sanatana Dharma, this is India, this is Bhagavad Gita. We stop here. Now the forum is open for you to raise your questions. Thank you so very much for your patience. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you so much, Bhaiya. Thank you for such a nice explanation about this Sankhya Yoga. Now, again, I would like to remind you that we are celebrating 5 years of celebration of Learngeeta. So please be a part of it and celebrate it at your places like home, temple, garden, from anywhere. Now, Bhaiya, if you give the permission, we'll start the question answer session.
Okay, now I am mute. Okay. Yes, now the questions are most welcome. Please raise your questions if you have any on this session as well as on the first session that we had last week.
Ji, Girish Bhaiya ji, please unmute yourself. Bhaiya, we cannot hear you. Remove your headphone, Bhaiya. Girish Bhaiya. Remove your headphone, Bhaiya. Maybe because
Giri,
of...
am I audible now?
Yeah, you can.
Is it audible now?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yeah, we hear you.
Bhaiya, thanks for a very good Vivechan Satra.
Thank you.
My question is, since Bhagavan says that the soul is already in existence and the body is in fact depending on the soul. So in that case, the countless souls already in existence, is in existence for countless years. There is no new soul created or new soul destroyed. This means there is a, if you really go, we cannot quantify. I know that we cannot quantify the number of souls,
Yes.
but is it still divisible, or the soul still is the same? Means the quantification, millions and millions or trillions, whatever it is
Yeah,
it
see,
still
for that,
created by God?
yeah, I get your point. See, for that, we need to know the total number of souls which are there in all the 7 lokas. There are 3 lokas above the earth, there are 3 lokas below the earth, and we are in the center, in the Prithvi. So if you take the total count, then you will find that nothing has changed. The number has not changed. Because as I said, Jivatma is different and Atma is different. Atma is that one soul which exists in all the bodies. When we read 13th Adhyaya, you will know that I am that soul in all the bodies. That is what Paramatma says in Kshetra Kshetra Vibhag Yoga. The Kshetrajna means that soul in our body. Paramatma says, I am Kshetrajna. So the Atma is the same in everybody. Only Jivatma, the life force is different in everyone. So that may change. That may change. And there are 84 lakh unis. In 84 lakh unis, how many billions of creatures are living, we do not know the count.
Okay.
But
Okay.
ultimately, how many get the moksha, salvation, liberation, that they don't come again in the cycle of birth and death? Only those limited number of souls who get united with Paramatma, they don't come back in this life, in this world of birth and death. Remaining all keep going up and down in this life, birth and death, birth and death. So
In
the
that case,
soul,
my second question is, so
yeah,
when we do our Shraddha Tithi,
ah,
uh, and we pray for the liberation or the moksha of the of our Pitrus,
hmm,
so what happens if we know that sometimes they don't attain moksha, or maybe we don't know who attains moksha or we don't, and then when we do the Shraddha Tithi,
hmm,
we believe that the soul or the Pitrus get that tarpana. So what
hmm.
happens if they have taken the rebirth? Then where does it, that our ritual goes to? Whom does it really go to them?
Very good question. You see, now we have discussed today and in the last week also that we are soul, we are not body, isn't it? So
Correct.
that body which was living with us as our relation, as our friend, as our member of family, that body has ceased to exist, isn't it? And that soul has acquired a new body in the process. If we are not if we are not body and we are the soul, and if the soul is definitely acquiring new body over a period of time, not immediately, it depends when it gets the suitable body according to its karmas. So when it gets the new body, what exactly we are performing Shraddha for? For the body or for the soul? If we are performing for the body, it does not exist. And if we are performing for the soul, soul is happily living in another body, then what does the Shraddha mean? So if we really analyze the Gita point of view, Shraddha is only for our own mental satisfaction. We should still perform Shraddha on annual day of our ancestors, but that is for our mental peace, for giving them respect. The soul is already enjoying another life. He may not remember, rather he does not remember you at all. So we are doing the Shraddha, Tarpan and all that. We are giving some donation also here and there. That is for our own self-satisfaction, for our purity of mind. We want to purify our own mind. We might have committed some injustice to them when they are alive. We want to do that, undo that injustice done to them. And then we want to pray for their forgiveness. That is the way we perform Shraddha. We pay our respect to them and we ask for forgiveness by doing our namaskaram to that pinda that we do. So pindadan we do, tarpan we do. That is for our own self-satisfaction. As far as Gita is concerned, Gita does not say you are a body. It says you are a soul and the soul is changing the body. And what is the point in performing Shraddha for that body which was living with you for some period of time? We have seen that this Srishti, this earth is there for last 4.3 billion years. Our human life is 100 years, for example, if you take, and it is also too much, but even if you take 100 years, you divide 4.3 by 100, how many lives we have lived so far? So, though many so many lives you have lived so far, to whom all you will keep performing Shraddha? For one life, for two lives, for millions of lives. So Shraddha is a concept which is basically for our own self-satisfaction. As far as Gita is concerned, we are a soul which does not need your Shraddha. Because soul is already acquiring another body. And maybe he is happier in that new body than what he was when he was in the new last body, when he was living with you in your family or as your friend or contact. So Shraddha is a different, we can have different discussions on Shraddha. The applicability of Shraddha, whether Shraddha is really a sustainable idea or whether after knowing Gita, when we know that we are not body, we are soul, then whether we should perform Shraddha for the soul.
It's a
Okay, so
difficult topic or debatable topic.
yeah.
Renuji,
जी नमस्कार भैया।
नमस्कार।
बहुत ही अच्छा आपका विवेचन लगा। मेरे आपने बीच में एक मेंशन भी किया था that when we are insulted, I want to know, I mean, without any mistake of yours, if somebody shouts at you and insults you, especially publicly, why do we feel so bad? How to overcome this feeling and how to handle this situation?
See, externally, if somebody shouts at you, you can respond in appropriate manner. Okay. If you are feeling that some injustice has been done to you, you can protest and show that injustice I will not accept. Bhagavad Gita is all about not accepting the injustice. Injustice was being meted out to Pandavas. And Krishna says, don't accept this injustice, fight it out. So Gita doesn't preach that you should accept injustice by others. Rather, you should protest. But that protest does not mean that you should get disturbed internally. External behavior and internal behavior are two different things. If you start disturbing your internal peace of mind, then you are getting into the trap of Maya. Gita says, don't get trapped into that Maya. Outside thing, outside. Don't keep them into your heart. Your heart should always be at peace. Whether you get angry with others, doesn't matter. If the time demands that you should get angry with others, shout at others, do it. If you feel your injustice has been done to you, protest. But don't get disturbed at the level of your antakaran. Your antakaran should be free from all signs of hatred and happiness. It should be a calm. It should be at peace at all times. Sukha-dukhe same krutva. You should accept everything in equanimity. Gita says, samatma yoga uchyate. Those who accept this in equanimity, they are yogis. So internally we should be yogis. Externally you are allowed to become human beings. Human beings have the anger. Okay, you protest if you feel rightly that something wrong has been done to you. But internally you should maintain your yogi posture. Accept everything in equanimity.
Then you are not, that same thought keeps repeating and you remain sad, for a long time. Although you don't want to be, but
See, that is the thing. When we go to slok number 62 and 63, we will know that this thought itself kills us. Dhyato vishayan pusa sangaste shupajayate, sangat sanjayate kamak, kamat krodho vijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat prativibhrava, prativibhramishat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. It starts with thought in our mind. The thought takes the idea of it takes the shape of idea. It becomes a desire, kamana. Kamana, when it gets fulfilled, you get attached to it. When it does not get fulfilled, you get angry. Both are bad for you. Getting attached or getting angry, both are bad to you. When anger crosses the limit, you lose your viveka buddhi. And then what is good for you, what is bad for you, that analytical side of your mind, you lose. When you lose that analytical mind itself, then buddhi nashat pranashyati. Then it is a disaster. So it starts from here, dhyato. When thought comes, think that this thought is going to bring me closer to Paramatma or is going to take me away from Paramatma. If you feel that it is going to take me away from Paramatma, stop, kill that thought then and there only. If it is going to take you closer to Paramatma, yes, then go further on that path.
But I mean, we are not able to control our thoughts. No, it keeps repeating. Sometimes.
That is the thing. Meditation is recommended. In 6th Adhyaya, when we see Atma Sanyam Yoga, Paramatma is given detailed steps how to enter into meditation, how to control the mind. Mind will have this tendency of running here and there. But Abhyas and Vairagya, Paramatma said in 6th Adhyaya, Abhyas होने तो कौन थे? वैराग्य ने गुरु ये थे. To keep the mind under control, Abhyas means the practice. If the mind goes somewhere, bring it back. Goes again, bring it back. This is the practice. This is the Abhyas. And Vairagya, detachment from the material life. So detachment from material life and Abhyas, practice of meditation. These are the two things which will be instrumental in controlling your mind. That is what Geeta says in 6th Adhyaya. So it is possible to control the mind with these two techniques, Vairagya and Abhyas.
Yeah. Okay. Well, another question is that we say only in human birth we get the fruit of our karmas. Then how come, suppose I do bad karmas and suppose I become an animal in the next birth, then how would I come back to the human birth? How will I get? Because animals don't get.
Yeah. You see, all other yonis other than human yoni, including the celestial god yonis and the lower yonis, lower than human beings, all bhog yonis. The celestial gods, they enjoy, but they don't have the karmas to do. Karma, freedom of karma, and the right to perform karma is given only to the human beings. Animals and the cockroach, lower levels of this thing, human lower than human lives, they cannot perform karma. They are bhog yonis. They are suffering for the earlier misdeeds, papa karma done by them in their earlier lives. So when their bhog are completed, they again come back to the human life. And a new chance is given to them to repair their damaged life. When the bhog are complete. So everyone has to go through these bhoga yonis. We are fortunate that we have got this human yoni now. Paramatma is expecting that is a human yoni given to us. We attain salvation, we attain liberation. Otherwise, again come back to the human yoni if we have done something reasonably okay. Or go back to the lower. Urdhvam gachanti sattva madhya tishthanti rajasa jagannaguna adho gachanti tamasa. 14th Adhyaya we say this. If we do good work, urdhva, we go up. If we do reasonably okay, madhya, same human life again. If we do bad, then adho gachanti tamasa. Then we go down.
Thank you, Bhai.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody is having still any question? Kindly raise your hand and on your video. Yeah, there is no more question. No hand. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Bhaiya, one question is there. Nagaji Patiji. Please on your video, can you on? Komana ji, yes, please. Ask your question, Bhaiya. Unmute yourself.
Okay. Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
My question is, it is being told that there are internal behavior and external behavior.
Yes, very right.
True. But what in Granthas or in Upanishads, wherever it may be, it is being told whatever is the internal behavior only controls the external behavior. Internal behavior, your internal thinking only comes out. That is, so then your internal and external is same.
See, the point is, internal and external behavior may appear to be same, but your external behavior should not disturb the peace of your antakaran. That is the rule of Gita.
It is correct.
You behave whatever is appropriate for you.
From your antakaran only the external behavior has come.
Then that tendency you have to curb. That tendency you have to curb. Matra sparshasthu kaunteya shitoshna sukha agama painav nitya stansit ikshasva bharata. This slok we have seen today. So matra sparsha is sometimes we get favorable situations, sometimes unfavorable situations. We have to live with that. Stansit ikshasva. We have to live with it and move further. If you get trapped into that, then you will never progress spiritually. If you want to progress spiritually, then you have to cross over it and go further. Don't get trapped into this Maya of Paramatma. Paramatma is trying to see whether you can pierce through the Maya of Paramatma by giving you this Matra Sparshasthu Kaunteya Shitoshna Dukha. We get Shita, we get Ushna in our life. We get favorable situations, we get unfavorable situations only to test us whether we get trapped into it or not. If we can cross over it, if we can pierce through the Maya, then only the path further goes. Otherwise, we get blocked there only. And that is why we are learning Gita, how to pierce that Maya of Paramatma and reach up to him. And these slokas therefore are very important. Matra Sparshastha Kaunteya Shitoshna Dukha Agama Paino. They come and they go. Don't let them rob of your peace of mind because they are transitory. They are temporary, impermanent. Why do you permanently disturb your mind because of something which is not permanent? So internally, we should be at peace of mind. We should be pure-hearted internally. Externally, okay, as I said, sometimes that situation demands that you shout
Same
at somebody.
thing will reflect. Internally, if you are with peace of mind, same thing will reflect
No,
externally.
that is not correct. That is not correct. To say that internally you should be disturbed, then only you will shout at others. Internal disturbance may happen for a moment, but then you have to curb that. The skill is lying not only in not getting angry, but to curb that anger. To curb that anger is human. Otherwise, what is the difference between us and the other species like animals? Isn't it? If we cannot curb that, that means we don't have the Viveka Buddhi in us, the discriminatory intellect that is Viveka Buddhi. We should use it. That is an extra thing given to us by the God, which is not there in other species.
Because
Is Viveka
body
Buddhi.
cannot do
No, only
anything.
for- yeah.
Body
Yeah.
Body is only a jadam, so this cannot do anything unless it gets an order or command from internal, isn't it?
That is true. See, soul is important. Body is not important. It's not true that body is not
cannot do
important.
anything.
The body gets instructions from the mind. Okay.
From inner
Huh?
side.
Body gets instruction from the mind. But mind, body, intellect are all given to you by the nature, by the Prakriti. While soul comes from the God, Mama Mamashu Jiva Loke. Our soul is a fragment of Paramatma. So you have to distinguish between these two things. That I am soul, I am a fragment of Paramatma. This body, Indriya, senses, and intellect, man, buddhi, this all is coming from Prakriti, nature. Every life this keeps on changing. The soul never changes. But body, mind, intellect, senses will keep on changing. We discuss the concept of Sukshma Sharir. Sukshma Sharir is what? It is registering all our karmas. Whatever is we are doing in this life is getting registered in Sukshma Sharir. And that Sukshma Sharir will occupy the next life. And we carry that burden of good or bad, whatever we are doing in the next life. So, whatever we do externally should remain external. Let it not affect our internal behavior. That is the golden rule.
No, my point, externally, we will not do anything unless we get a command from internal. That is my point.
No, I agree with your point that momentarily you get I agree. I agree. See, who is giving the command? As we discussed, who is enjoying the fruits? Suppose you are eating some sweets, the tongue is enjoying. The tongue is sending signal to the mind. Okay. You are saying, I'm enjoying the sweets. Who is this I? Mind is not I, tongue is not I.
No.
Isn't it? So,
that is giving command to the mind.
we should be able to witness. We should be able to witness the activities of our mind, our intellect, and our senses as a witness, as an external body, as an external person. Observe it as an external person, as a witness. Whatever thoughts come to mind, where do they go? From where the thoughts come, where do they go? Observe it as a witness. Then only you will differentiate between you and the body, soul and the body. Always remember, we are a soul. We are a witness of the actions of our soul, our senses, and our intellect and our mind. Keep watching what thoughts are coming to your mind, as a witness only. If this habits gets cultivated, then only we can understand the meaning of what is body and what is soul. Otherwise, we'll always consider I am a body. You need deep thinking on this. Take this shloka, Matra Sparshasthu Kaunteya, for your next time meditation. Deeply think on this shloka of Matra Sparshasthu Kaunteya.
Okay, next question is
Yeah.
असंशयं महाबाहो मनो दुर्निग्रहं चलम् अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येन च गृह्यते.
Yes, yes.
This is mind is very
Flicker.
like
Mind is flickering here and there. You cannot catch mind like you cannot catch the wind. You cannot catch the mind.
chanchal.
Yes.
So how to control it? It is being told in that. In that sloka, how to control the mind is
See,
being told.
Arjuna's question was, Chanchal imana Krishna pramati balodram tasya nigram mane vayu ryusa dushkaram. That's what Arjuna's question.
It is the
That
question.
Krishna is told me about.
This is the answer.
Now, what Krishna has replied is, I agree with you. Arjuna, I agree with you. That mind is chanchal. But in the next line of the shloka, Paramatma has given the solution to it. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena grihiyate. Abhyas, abhyas, abhyas. And vairagya is detachment from attachment. That is vairagya. Vairagya does not mean you should go and live in Himalaya. Vairagya is detachment from attachment is vairagya. If you are able to detach from attachments and if you are able to do the practice of meditation, then you can stabilize your mind. That is the lesson.
Since 15 years, I am practicing this dhyana and pranayama and other things to control the mind. Control the mind. Except vairagya. I am not able to control.
You have got the vairagya now? Have you got the vairagya?
No, except that vairagya. So I came to the conclusion that vairagya has to be practiced.
Yeah, of course. It is a matter of practice only. It is a matter of practice. And practice may it depends. As we discussed in one story, the distance that you travel is not important. The baggage you are carrying with you is important. If you are carrying a lot of baggage in your mind, then 15 by 15, even 50 years will be a short of time for you. But those who have less baggage with them, they can cross that distance within a short period of time. It depends how many baggages you are carrying in your mind. Listen.
You are less.
Yes. 2 bags which, as I said in that small story, 2 bags which we carry is our past karmas and our future expectations. What I'm going to gain. If you reduce these 2 baggages, then nothing is difficult. Then you can travel the distance very fast. But if you are carrying these 2 baggages very heavily in your mind, then definitely the speed will reduce. Obviously. Think about it. Think about it. We can discuss in the next session also.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Okay, Jai Shri Krishna.
Indrapal Bhaiya, please unmute yourself.
Yes. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
As you tell the full span of the lecture, that the karma theory is essential. Get the birth according to your karma you have to done in this life. And I see that the tree, they are standing for 20 years, they live in this year and then again rebirth, and then again they can give the flowers, all these same flowers, and you have not seeding to that particular seeds for this perennial flowers. They can give every year the plant is grown up and then give the flowers. it means that their karma is so tidy or so long to get the salvation to the body, to come to that new body, or they have to get the human body. It will take lot of time because they have the long life of that plant. They are perennial plant, and sometimes you see that the big tree is, or the life is 1,000 years. They can live in this world. So that they have to get the curse of the God.
See, we don't know the balance sheet of everyone. Do we know the balance sheet of every individual?
This is a
we don't know
balance sheet of the
every
particular,
individual.
and they can 1,000 years they can live there, that yoni,
Possible,
plant
possible.
yoni, and
Possible.
keep quiet in the wood, not talking anybody, and they have the weather condition is absolutely reversible, not there acceptable to them, but even then they can stand from it. The climatic condition is that there is a snow, there all the tree leaves are gone and their only branches are there, and they are the curse of the God. They can be taken get the punishment of such type of punishment given by the God. Because they have to create a bad karmas, or they are not creating a good life. They cannot live
suffering
in
for the past misdeeds done by them.
Yeah.
But how long they will have to suffer, that we don't know. It depends on their balance sheet of karmas.
Yes.
Are we aware of balance sheet of every individual? We don't know.
One question is more than you say that Sraddha is not necessary. In your opinion, you have to pay respect to your ancestors, or a father, mother, or the grandfather, or that. But you say that this is no reason that they can get the another yoni, or they can give the another relation with the another people, another atma.
Yes.
They have the different
body, yes,
yonis
they
at
got another
different
body.
places, different atmas they got it in contact with. And
Yes.
your liability is very few liabilities, but your satisfaction is that you have to do this
Yes, for mental
sanskar.
satisfaction and for your own Atma Shuddhi, your own purification of mind, purification of heart, you have to perform your exercise of Shraddha. But don't expect, don't misunderstand that whatever water you are offering to that Jivatma is reaching that Atma in his next life.
Correct one. So that's a very nice dialogue you have given to everybody. I like it. And
Thank you.
your words are so much respectable, and with good way to explain it. I like it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jai Jai Krishna.
DVR Murthy Bhaiya, please unmute yourself. Bhaiya, you muted again. Bhaiya, unmute. No sound, Bhaiya. Bhaiya, headphone. Apply it. Apply headphone.
Hello,
हाँ,
is
ठीक है.
it audible?
Yeah.
Yes,
Go ahead.
Sorry. Is it audible?
Yeah. Please ask your question, sir.
Okay. Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. What is the question?
Bhaiya, ask your question, Bhaiya. You are audible.
Sorry.
You can become mute.
Janma, before, after death. You please explain.
See, when the death happens, as we discussed today, what leaves our body is the Sukshma Sharir. The subtle body leaves the body. It leaves our gross body. And the gross body becomes inactive.
Yes.
Okay. So
Okay,
Sukshma Sharir is one which leaves the body, making us to die. The death
Yes,
is
sir.
called when the Sukshma Sharir leaves the gross body. Then the gross body is not able to do anything. All the indriyas are intact. Eyes are there, nose is there, ears are there, but they cannot perform their function because the Sukshma Sharir, which was the driving force for gross body, has left the body.
Yes.
Now this Sukshma Sharir will occupy the next body depending upon the karmas that are
Karma.
there stored in the
Yes, sir.
Sukshma Sharir. So we should be waiting for that body which is appropriate for our karmas,
Yes, sir.
for our sanskars which are registered in that body, Sukshma Sharir. When you perform any good karma, we carry 2 baggages with us, or rather 3 baggages. Sattva,
Another
Rajotamo.
another question
Sattva,
is that
yeah.
4.3 billion years is a day of Brahma, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
And therefore, the Atma rebirths thousands of times, lakhs of times.
Yeah, that's what I said, yes.
That you told also.
Yes.
But we do not know anything about all the Atmas, whatever previous births we
That is what
have.
fourth Adhyay, Krishna says in fourth Adhyay, Bahuni Mevati Itani Janmani Tavacharjuno, Tanyaham Veda Sarvani Natvam Vetta Parantapo. Arjuna, you and me have lived many lives. I know
Yes,
all
sir.
of my previous lives, but you do not know your lives.
Yes,
So this
yes,
is
yes.
with us.
Yes.
We do not know our past lives, or we will not be
We
able
don't.
to know our future lives.
We don't. Yes, yes, sir.
That
Very
is
good.
our weakness. That is our
Yeah.
weakness.
That's correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Your preaching is very nice, and we had very happy about your preachings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ji Murthy Bhaiya, now please unmute yourself and try to ask. Bhaiya, the message is there. Unmute yourself. Now ask Bhaiya.
Or ask him to write down a question, then we can reply.
No, Bhaiya, no, you are not audible. Write down in the chat box, Bhaiya, the question. Bhaiya will answer you. Yes, anybody is having question? Bhaiya, can we move ahead? That Murthy Bhaiya is writing the question. Now we move on to our next part, that is Dhanyavad Jnapan, vote of thanks. Now I would like to thank you, Vikas Bhaiya, for sparing such a valuable time and giving such an insights about this Sankhya Yoga. All the sadhaks who joined from YouTube, YouTube and Zoom platform, thank you so much for patiently waiting for your turn. Thank you so much. Thank you, Srinivas Bhaiya, as a technical assistant for today. And thank you, the whole backend team, technical team, for your support. Bhaiya, Khemraj Bhaiya has raised his hand.
So Murthy ji has written his question in the chat. When
Ji,
to
Didi,
react
ji.
and when to respond is his question.
Ji, Didi.
What is that? What is the question?
Didi, I am reading the question. Just a second.
When to react
Okay, to
and
you
when
only.
to respond
Ji.
is his question.
Jai Shri Krishna Dada Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
I want to know how to know ourselves. How to know ourselves? Just this question.
How to know ourselves?
Yes.
In one simple sentence, know yourself to be a soul, not as a body. That is what we are learning from Geeta. That we are a soul which never dies. We are a soul that never ages. We never become old. We never fall sick. We never die. That is what we are. So when the age catches up and people start saying, oh, I become old, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, I'm going to die one day, then that means you are getting too much attached to the body. You should never say I'm going to die, because the soul never dies and you are the soul. So this
when
concept
we meditate, then we will realize how our soul we can recognize.
What do you say?
This when we meditate ourselves, and then what is the Atma? This we can recognize.
See, that is what I'm saying. In meditation, when you see, you observe the activities of your mind, your thoughts, your senses as an external witness. Be outside it. When you say, I enjoyed it, think who has really enjoyed it. When you are enjoying the sweets, it is the tongue which has eaten it and it has transferred it, it has conveyed to the mind that yes, the taste was good. So the mind is tasting it. You're not mind, you're not tongue, you're not body. So observe the activities of your senses as a witness. When you cultivate this habit of observing mind as different and body as different, then slowly and surely you will realize that you are the soul and not the body. So this is the way.
When I meditate, then I'll show different color, and this is not a suitable. This is sometimes yellow, sometimes green, sometimes this yellow is visible. Then how to know this Atma? Then just I want to know this. Only when I meditate, and that time I'll show a different color, only different color. Just
No, you may see different colors, but you have to basically bring your mind to stillness. Stillness is no thoughts in the mind. It may happen for a moment only in the initial stages of meditation. But stillness of mind, that means mind without thoughts. That is the stage we have to achieve. And slowly and surely we have to go on prolonging that time. Initially it may happen for a fraction of a second, thoughtlessness, because the mind is never without thoughts. So initially it may be very difficult to bring the mind to that stage of thoughtlessness. But when you do it through repeated meditation day in and day out, you become master of it. And then you know how to bring that thoughtlessness to your mind. When the mind becomes thoughtless, then only it is called meditation. Otherwise, it is not meditation complete as such. Meditation is the practice of making mind thoughtless. No good, no bad, nothing.
yes, thank you, Dada. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bhaiya, the question is there, when to react and when to respond by Murthy
No,
Bhaiya.
no. So I told you in that story of Sundar Pichai and that cockroach story, that in life, when we react, we normally react without thinking. When we respond, we think deeply how to respond. So the reaction comes out of spurt, without much of deep thinking. What will be the consequences of our reaction? You should never react to any situation in life. You should always respond. Anything happens in life, think over it and then respond it appropriately, like that waiter in the story did. Otherwise, the ladies were dancing up and down with the cockroach sitting on their body. But the waiter was very calm and quiet because he responded to the situation. The ladies were reacting to the situation. We should learn this technique and this difference between reaction and response. That is the thing.
I think now the questions are over. Anybody
Okay.
wants to ask? Ji Bhaiya. Can we move ahead now, Bhaiya? Already
Yes,
vote of
please.
thanks is done.
Yes,
Thank you
please.
again, Bhaiya. Thank you all the sadhak. Thank you our technical team. Now let's take prayer. For prayer, I would like to call Bhusa Umarani ji, joined Geeta Pariwar in November 23, and she is currently giving seva as a co-trainer. Welcome, Didi.
जय श्री कृष्ण योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्
Jai Shri Krishna. Now we will chant Hanuman Chalisa. Please be here in the session.
श्री
गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरन रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा गानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समभाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर बल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब वीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर गोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
We will meet next session next time. Till then, I Dr. Pooja Sharma take your leave. Jai Shri Krishna.